Hello, everybody. I just want to start this off by saying that I am in no way an expert at this. I just got my WeCreat 20 probably about 3 weeks ago. So I am just learning, but I wanted to take a moment to maybe address a couple questions that I not only had in the beginning, but that I see posted a lot. What I'm going to do is show you at least how to set up a cup in your system, a cup or a tumbler, however you want to name it. In this case, I do have the air cleaner to go with this machine. However, I personally found it to be a waste of money. I think it would be better used as a boat anchor. That being said, I have my machine vented out my window in a hillbilly way, but it works for me. You do you, boo. You do you. Anyhow, on my machine, it already needs cleaned because I have made several cups, so don't mind my mess. But next, I'm going to show you how I set my cup up. Okay, guys, so we're back, and this is how I set my cup up. In this case, I'm going to use a 40 that is from Maker Flow. I like the Maker Flow cups. I find them really easy to use. Again, don't mind my mess. I just got done doing 2 cups, so we're kind of a mess right now. As you can see, my lights are on. We're ready, good to go. I've already set my cup up, and I've got back here, as you can see, how I've set up the bottom so that it is in between those 2 top rollers. I want to make sure that my cup is solidly placed there. I want to make sure that in this case I have the Rotary Pro and that we're not so far in that it's rubbing up against there. We want to leave a little clearance between the bar of the machine and where the cup is. So the whole idea, it should be able to smoothly roll without any issue while staying firmly in place. See that shiny stuff down there? That's tape. That is how I keep my little end unit in place. I would recommend using something not as flammable as what I have here. Adhesive tape is all I had at the moment. It works. I keep an eye on my machine. I don't ever leave my machine. I am sitting next to my machine during the entire process. But I would suggest something not so flammable. When I get done with this cup, I'll be replacing it, going to the store and buying some painter's tape, something that's not so flammable. Anyhow, when I set my cup up, a big concern that I had and that I've had problems with along with other people is the fact that we can't seem to get the same design on the top of our cup as the bottom. We'll either burn through the top, especially when we're doing rainbows, and the bottom will come out beautifully, or the top will be beautiful and the bottom hardly through the paint. So the whole idea is to be able to get this cup even, totally even between top and bottom, so that the laser is able to do both. Now, the other thing I like about the Maker Flow cups is I don't have tabs to deal with. Tabs are another concern, and as you know, they can bump up against the laser and ruin your laser. So you have to be really careful about that as well. When I set mine up, I have found for me the sweet spot when I use my leveler is to have that bubble a quarter of the way under that bottom line. By doing so, I have found that my cups are lasering both on the top and the bottom evenly. It works for me. It may not work for you. If you do something differently and it's working for you, use it. Do what works for you. Again, do you, boo, do you. But this is what's working for me, so I thought I would share it. Next, we're going to show how to set it up on your software. Be back with you in a moment. Hello, we're back again. So here we are at the WeCreat software screen. What I'm going to do, and I apologize if I shake you guys up too much. I'm not real steady with this camera, but again, I'm just hoping this will help somebody who may have a question. So If you want to do a better video, again, I'm going to say it. You do you, boo. Anything out there that's helpful for people, I feel is a great start. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to New Project, which is going to bring up your screen here. There's my cup. Notice it's the other direction. So what we need to do is we need to go up here where it says laser flat on the right side of your screen. Now your screen may look a little different than mine depending on what updates you have, but they should pretty much all lay out the same way. We're going to go to laser cylindrical because what do we have? We have a round cup. Now you'll see it says requires installation of rotary set for use. Again, I'm using a Rotary Pro, so this video is one where it is specifically set up for Rotary Pro. Yours may look a little different. You will see this message if you do not have the Rotary Pro. They did not change the software when they brought out the Rotary Pro. So you're still going to be looking at this even though that non-workable area isn't really a concern with the Rotary Pro. Okay, so what you're going to do, you need to X out of that, and you see that big red box, non-working area. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that because that is going to be in our way. And people go, oh my gosh, my cup is sitting on part of that non-working area. That is not a problem with the Rotary Pro. So we can go ahead and get rid of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to Who Settings. That brings up our settings screen. We're going to go down a little ways and you'll see non-working area of Rotary on. And we're going to toggle that to off. It's going to give you a safety alert. It's going to tell you, please ensure the Rotary set you are using is the Rotary Pro with no step jaws installed. Okay, so if you're using the Rotary Pro, you're good. If you're using something else, as it says, this might cause a collision with the laser head after turning off that non-working area. So make sure you're using either the Rotary Pro or if you're turning off that area, that you make sure your measurements are correct so that you're not ruining your laser. So we're going to hit confirm because we're good. Okay, so it's toggled now to off. We're going to X out of that screen. Now see, our red area is gone. One of the other problems that has come up is we've got this big area where it'll put layers, it'll put all these sorts of things on there. You can get rid of that. And the way we get rid of that is by scrolling down. If I can do it here, I'm working on a laptop, so bear with me, guys. We're going to go down. And down here, the very bottom, see where it says layer? Boom. Hit that button. Now look, we have a completely free working area. That white box is no longer in the way. It's no longer being a pain in your backside, and we can move on. So we've got our laser cylindrical. We're set there. And then now the next thing that we need to do is we need to look at our material. So we're going to go down from laser cylindrical. We're going to go down to material. It says metal stainless steel tumbler. That's correct. But we're going to hit that button. And it's going to bring up another menu. It's going to ask us metal, wood, stone, ceramic. So it wants to know, what are we making today? In this case, we are making a stainless steel tumbler. Notice that we do not have white. So not all the colors are listed there, but that's okay. We can leave it as stainless steel tumbler, but what I like to do is I like to use as my standard go-to stainless steel tumbler blue. Now people go, where do I go from here? There's nothing else to pick and it won't let me go further. See this little mark here? You've got to click something. Even though there's nothing listed there, click it. Then go down. Now look what we've got here. Your tip. Go with this tip. If your material is not listed here, please do a test array in the toolbox. We'll go to test arrays later on. But for now, there's your test panel. So what do you want? In this case, you can go with the standard. You can pick one of those settings, or you can go with your own if you know what you want. In this case, I'm just going to hit confirm because I already know what I want. And we'll get into settings at a later date. But for now, we're just going to show how to set this up. So now we have our stainless steel tumbler set up. Now we need to go down and we need to put in the perimeter and the diameter of your cup. I see a lot of people asking, what's the difference between perimeter and diameter? Your perimeter is the outside of your cup, around your cup. What does your cup measure all the way around? So in this case, since we are doing a 40, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change this to 12.37. A lot of people will say, but that's not my cup size. My cup measures 12 and a half. My cup measures this. My cup measures that. Go with your measurement, but I can tell you that on a 40-ounce cup, for me, 12.37 works. It will automatically put in my diameter, which is across. What space do I have going from one side of the top of my cup, the mouth of my cup, to the other do I have? 3.94. I have mine set up in inches rather than in millimeters. I work better in inches. It's easier for me to understand, so that's what I use. Again, you do you, boo. If you want to do it in millimeters to be more precise, do so. Do whatever it takes for you. I do keep my center line toggled, which is this green line down the center, because I want to make sure that my cup's centered when we have my cup pictured in there. So now that I have my diameter in there, again, what I was getting to before I got sidetracked, squirrel. Anyway, what I'm talking about is some people say when they put in a measurement, it changes it for them. And it's so frustrating because it won't keep your measurements. You have to remember that this machine looks at what it has in front of it only. It can't go, I think I would better off if I would add a 1/4 inch here or 2 millimeters here. It goes with very basic information, the closest it can get to making it correct. So in this case, it's going to pick 12.37. It's not going to want to go any higher than that. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure, and someone will correct me, I'm sure, if I'm wrong. I don't believe it will let you put in a higher value on that particular field. Anyhow, so we're done with this field. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the little hand. We're going to hit that hand. And what that does is it does a refresh. Now when you go over here, there we go. There's our cup. We're going to look at that green line. We're going to see, is it correct? Is it as close to in the middle of that cup as we think we can get? You might disagree with me, but I'm going to say it's as close in the middle of that cup, down the center of that cup as I want it to be. So we're good. Now, being an old grandma as I am, I have to make this a little bigger for when I need to put my design on this cup. I want to be able to see that cup clearer in a bigger form. So I'm going to go right up here where it says 32%, and that's your position, the position of your cup, or how big is this? And I'm going to move this down. I'm going to bring down that drop-down menu, and I'm going to go to 50%. Now my cup is bigger. Now, to move this over, this is another part that's really frustrating for people, and it takes a little while to get used to. Over here, where we moved our little hand, where we put the little hand, there's a hand and an arrow. You're going to toggle back and forth between that hand and that arrow until you get this cup where you want it to be. Pardon my nails, they are full of soot. Anyhow, again, squirrel. But in order to move that, we're on the hand, so we're good. We're going to take our cursor, we're going to move it over here, and we're going to move this into position. So we're going to move it over here. Now we can see our entire cup from top to bottom, which is what I want. Now you can get rid of some of this other stuff, but that is for a later date. Meanwhile, I'm going to go over here to File, and that is where I'm going to get my design for my 40. So I'm going to go up to File, Create, Import, Save, or Save As. In this case, I'm not going to create because that's going to take me to an entirely different field where I would build a design from scratch. In this case, I already have my design on my computer, so I'm going to import. I'm going to hit my import button, it's going to take me into all of my different designs. So next we are going to pick a design. So I'll be right back with you and we will go on to the next phase. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you have been with me so far, you know that we have our settings ready to go and we're now picking a design for our cup. In this case, I'm going with a design called Expensive. So we're going to go up to our design, whichever one you have. We're going to click on it, hit open, and now it is going to load. As you can see, it's loading onto my machine. Now bear with me here because my machine is not the fastest in the West, so it may take just a moment for it to load onto our screen. So bear with me here. We'll be right back. There we go. Now, as you can see on our design, see all the little white specks, everything. This is a design that is, for lack of a better term, because I'm not real computer savvy, it is in pieces. So what we're going to do is we're not going to be able to move this around as one whole piece until we merge all of our designs together. See all the little boxes around all the little things? So we want to make that one. So right up above that, you'll see a merge button. Click on merge, merge graphic shapes. We're going to click on that. And then what that's going to do, it's going to take it a second. It's going to take all of those. And now look, we are all one. And this cup resembles me quite a bit. Expensive, difficult, and talks back. So that's the cup we're going to make today. Now, if I were to need to move this over, the entire thing, my cup, my design, everything, I would want to use the little hand. In this case, I just want to move the design to fit it on my cup. So we're going to click on, if it's not there already, the little arrow. So now I'm going to go down here. And as you can see, the design itself is actually black. Now we're on a white cup, but if we were doing a darker cup and we had that black design, it would be a real problem to try to get that manipulated onto the cup right, because we wouldn't be able to see the design very well. So in that case, see all the colors down here? You can pick a color to make it brighter. In this case, I'm going to make it yellow. So now, if I were on a black cup, that yellow would show up great. I would be able to see it much better. I'm just going to keep it yellow just because. I'm going to move this over. So in this case, we're doing a full wrap on this cup. So we're going to move it just past that green line. Now, what we need to do, as you can see, the cup is bigger than the design. So we need to move the design to match the cup. And we want it to go all the way up. So we're going to go into this corner here and we're going to move it. We're going to move it until it matches the very top. See this white line? You want that white line to match right at the top of your cup at the green line, because that is your highest point. That's the highest point of your cup as you're going around it. So we want that to match. We're going to do the same then down below. We're going to go down here. We're going to go to the corner. We're going to toggle it over, and we're going to make sure that it matches right at the very green line. Now see how my white line is right at the bottom of that cup? That way I'm ensured that this is going to fit the entire cup. It's going to go from top to bottom. Now, what we need to do next, in order to make this go around the cup, we want to make sure that all of our gaps are filled. And to do so, we want to go look at this cup in the 3D version. So we're going to go up here to our little hand, select it, and then we're going to look further over to the right. We're going to go down to our perimeter and our diameter, and next to that it says 3D preview. Click on that. We have our design. Now don't worry that it doesn't show it going all the way to the top. It doesn't show it going all the way to the bottom, because This 3D preview just gives us a simulation of all the way around the cup. It does not give proper height. So it's not going to tell you whether that fits your entire cup or not, but it is going to tell you if in fact your design goes all the way around your cup. Now in this case it does. If it didn't, when it comes up, you would literally see a gap that had no design. So in that case, what you would want to do is go back to that design and make it longer. You're going to make it longer across by clicking on it, going to the middle of that design and literally pulling it over, and then going back to your 3D preview. Continue to do that until you no longer see a gap and everything matches up. That's if you have a full seamless wrap, that's what you're going to do. So now it gives you a little preview of what your cup is going to look like. Once you're happy with that, you need to go up here and do the first X. Now mine duplicates here. You have to be careful because if you hit the wrong X, you're going to totally X out of your WeCreat program. So make sure that you're hitting the very first X so you're only getting rid of your 3D preview. It brings you back to your screen. We're good to go. So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to want to get ready to start our cup. What we do, we go up here to the purple start button. That's not going to start your machine, but it's going to get it ready to. And it's going to bring up a warning. It's going to tell you incorrect parameters may cause laser head collision. Again, that's more of a concern for those who are not using the Laser Rotary Pro, but it is still good to remember because you need to make sure that your parameters are correct, or you're not only going to mess up your cup, but an even bigger problem is that laser is going to go off of your cup and it's going to start in places that you don't want it to. It's going to make a mess. It could create a fire. You could have a lot of issues. So make sure that you have your numbers correct, that you're verifying your diameter and your perimeter. Once you are sure, go ahead and hit continue processing. So now it's thinking about it. It's bringing up our design and our cup. Scroll down, and it's going to tell you an estimated processing time. In this case, this is going to take an hour, 22 minutes, and 29 seconds. Now we go over here to the other side, and it says framing. And see above there, there's a warning. Again, it's telling you, do not leave your equipment during processing. That's how you prevent a fire, because this laser can jump. Things can happen. Don't be the one that ends up with a fire because you're not paying enough attention. This is a serious process. It can cause a lot of damage if you leave it alone. So anyway, I think we've gone into that enough. But for framing, what that's going to do is that's going to allow your laser to look over everything that we just went through, your diameter, your perimeter, everything, to make sure that it's correct. It's also going to give you the opportunity to watch your laser as it's doing it so that you can tell, is it going to make it over tabs if you have tabs that you had to bend in order to do your cup? Is it on the very top? Is it on the very bottom? We're going to watch that little red light and we're going to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit framing. And when we hit framing, we need to be looking into our machine and seeing, are we actually where we need to be? So next, we'll do our framing. Join me then. All right, so now we're in the process of doing our framing for our cup. We're getting excited because we're getting ready to start this cup, and it's almost go time. So first, we're going to do our framing. Again, you're going to want to watch that little red beam as it goes across. We're going to get a little closer before I hit the framing button, and we're going to watch this go across. Here comes our laser. See that red light? You're going to watch it go. Boom, right on the bottom of that cup. It's going to come back up. It's going to show you on the top. Hard for you to see, I know, but I'm looking in there and I can see around that it does, in fact, hit the top of my cup. So I'm ready to go. Now what it's going to do after it frames you're going to see a cancel and a send button. If you need to redo your design because it's not hitting where you want it to with that red light on top and bottom, hit the cancel button. It'll take you right back to the screen that you can readjust your design, frame it again, and then go again. In this case, we're good to go. So we're going to hit the send button, and what that does is that is going to send it directly to your machine. You're going to see it come up. It's ready to go. It's showing you push the button. So what are we doing? We're going to go over here to our machine. We've got a light around it, a bluish green light. We're going to hit that. Boom. It turns green. Our machine goes into place and it starts. Our parameters are good. Everything's good. It's going above the cup where it needs to be. And it's starting our process. So we will continue this afterwards when you can see the finished design. We may come back when we're about halfway through so we can see how it's going. Check in with me later. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, our cup is almost complete. One thing that we did not talk about was settings. On this particular cup for my Maker Flow 40 ounce, I've decided to go with 90, 400, 200, and 1 pass on the cup. Now, these are settings that just work for me for this particular white cup. May or may not be to your liking. Find what's right for you. You have to find what works for you. That's the most important thing. But the biggest thing is to find a test panel. Do that test panel. Use one of your cups as a throwaway cup, something that you've made a mistake on before, or even if you haven't, spend the money for that one cup to just keep testing. Do test arrays. It will literally save you a lot of money in the long run. Trust me when I say that. Just picking a setting and going with it, you will end up throwing away more cups in the beginning than you'll care to do. But anyway, this is what works for me. And I will see you guys again once this cup is finished and I've had a chance to clean it up, wipe the soot off of it, and we'll take a look and see what we've got. See you soon. Hello guys. We are back for the final step. The final step is cleaning up the cup from the WeCreat. Again, we're using the WeCreat 20 on this for a 40 ounce cup from Maker Flow, cup, tumbler, whatever you want to call it. I have taken off the soot. Pardon the noise. I'm already working on another cup. Obviously, they're like potato chips. You can't have just one. So here is the result of my cup. Now, granted, I still need to take it downstairs, wash it for a final cleanup, but this is after removing the soot. Again, this is with the settings of 90, 400, 200 at 1 pass. Originally, I said that it would be at 1 pass. After looking at it the first time around, I decided to do 2 passes. There were a few little areas, just tiny specks of white left in some areas that I didn't like. So I ran it through for an additional pass, and this is the result. We're ready to take it downstairs, wash her up, and then she's going to be available for my next craft show. Hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed making it. Good luck to you all. Have a great day. Bye.